Hello everyone, my name is Jan Poli. I'm with the Delaware Botanic Gardens in Pepper Creek in Dagsboro. And it's showtime.
Well, you know, taking care of 37 acres of garden is no small task, but it's one that Delaware Botanic Gardens takes very seriously. Part of this is because of how passionate they are about sharing a healthy outdoor environment.
The nonprofit employs a small but dedicated staff, and their 2023 season is beginning later this spring. Here to explain to us this afternoon is Ray Sander. He is the president of the Delaware Botanical Gardens, along with Stephen Lee, who is the director of horticulture and educational programs. Did I get all that right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So, you guys won a big award recently.
Well, you know, a lot of people watched the Oscars last night on WBOC.
Yeah.
And, we didn't win an Oscar, but in the past year we went over these major awards, and we're very proud of it. We won the best attraction in Sussex County by the Southern Delaware Tourism Board.
Yeah.
And we've won an award from the governor for our volunteers, the great work that they're doing. We've won an award for the restoration of a shoreline we've done. We've won an award from the American Institute of Architects for the design of our restrooms. So, so for a little small community garden, we've done a great job.
Okay, so we've watched you grow over the years. Can you talk a little bit about some new things, some new buildings you have?
Well, Stephen will talk about the gardens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're making slow steps to expand, but we do have improved facilities with our brand new restrooms, as Ray said, award-winning restrooms, which has made a great difference, and now we can have coach trips and bus trips, larger groups of people coming to the gardens, which is fantastic. And we're always developing. We have a number of new projects. We have the Gateway Garden, which is a series of hedgerows which demonstrate how people can use native plantings to create a boundary, all with native plants, and encourage the wildlife. You already mentioned the 200,000 bulbs that are due to flower or flowering over the next few weeks. We were planted almost 86,000 bulbs with volunteers in the fall. We did 85,000 the year before that, so we've been working incredibly hard, plus with a couple of thousand sapling trees that were planted in the garden in the fall, and another,
he's a busy guy.
Another 300 trees and shrubs to plant this spring. So lots happening, and good reasons to come out to the garden and see how we're getting on.
Yeah, okay. So you're working a partnership with area libraries.
This is a very important thing for us. You know, while we have a $15 admission, we didn't want that to be a barrier for people to come and enjoy the garden. So we started a program with 11 of the libraries now here in the region, 2 in Maryland, 9 in Delaware, where people can come in and use their library card, get a free pass to the garden, and use it to come to the garden and come in without any charge. And so it's just a way of making sure that the whole community has access to the garden, and it's a great way of also supporting the libraries.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That is community right there. So, what do you think it is about the gardens that it's such an incredible attraction for people?
Well, it really is a hidden gem on the Pepper Creek shoreline, and it's taken a little while for people for far and field to find out about us, but we've done some wonderful work over the last 12 months with marketing and local newspapers and of course the media, and it really has opened up people's minds, and they love to come outside and enjoy the fresh air. You know, we often say that people come to the garden feeling stress and overwhelmed with the day-to-day. By the time they leave the garden, after spending a couple of hours wandering around through the meadow or through the woodland, they're totally different people.
And so remind us when you're open.
We opened Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, from 9 to 4, and it's all staffed by basically volunteers. You know, we had over 7,000 hours of volunteer hours donated last year to our garden, and so that it's a community based organization, and the community is supporting it so beautifully. We had 10,000 visitors last year alone.
Wow.
That's amazing, and I think you're going to have a whole lot more this year. We're going to have a link on our website so that folks can learn more about the Delaware Botanic Gardens and where they're at and everything. And
we have a little gift for you guys.
You had mentioned this. This is a wonderful book. Tell me about this book.
This is a book. Pete Oldoff is the designer of our meadow. He's a world famous garden designer, and this is a book that talks about his style of gardening, which is very naturalistic, which is very compatible with not only our approach to gardening at the Delaware Botanic Garden, but an approach that we would love homeowners to start to use here as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
Got you
us.
one. Yeah, hand it over, hand it over,
All
hand it over.
right, Ray Sander and Stephen Lee, thank you so much, and thank you for these books. I cannot wait. to
Thank
start
you so
reading
much for
them.
the
Okay,
work you do.
But when we come back, we're still talking about Delaware Botanic Gardens with Jan Poley, who is giving us a spring planting container demonstration over in the DelmarvaLife kitchen. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, it may not look like it outside yet, but spring is on its way, and we're getting prepared for it a week early. And what better way to spring into the season than with a little demonstration from Jan Poley. She is a designer with Delaware Botanic Gardens, and she's showing us how to put together a spring container. Thank you for coming in.
Happy spring.
Happy spring.
Almost here.
Almost 1 week from today, and you
Almost
brought
here.
lots of spring here.
I wanted us to be filled with joy and color, and I was happy to do it.
Yeah, and you succeeded. Now you put these together?
Yes.
So tell us about you design these. There's a purpose for the way you do it, right?
Well, I have a planting philosophy.
Okay.
And the first thing I do is I love to forage for any kind of natural material like moss, which I have here, any kind of driftwood. I will do a design even putting the moss in the driftwood and putting bulbs, like little tulip bulbs or hyacinth bulbs in here. And I'll even put a little bit of the floral oasis, they call it. It's like a sponge, and do cut flowers of tulips in here and do that as a piece. Or
okay.
instead of, today I did it with a little bird nest, but you can also put driftwood in this way in an arrangement. Or
And the
this
bird
way.
nest had already been abandoned, and it was from last year.
Yes, it's from last year, and I held on to it, and I thought it was very clever the way it was made, and they put a little bit of plastic in it to keep themselves from getting wet and keeping themselves warm, so they've become very clever.
So what are the other pieces you have in here? What are the plants?
This is called, most of the plants here are all perennials, so that means they will either come back if it's a bigger pot each year, or we can plant them in the ground and then dig them back up again and put them in for spring if we'd like to. This one over here is called heuchera, and it's a perennial that is starting to pop up now. This is called oxalis. It's called Iron Cross oxalis, and it's a little early for it. It has to be 50 degrees and warmer for it to really be outside, but I thought because of St. Patrick's Day coming up, this oxalis would be wonderful. You have violas and pansies that will be okay this time of year.
Sure, sure.
And the columbine is all starting to pop all over different areas of the Botanic Garden and in perennial beds. And this is ranunculus. This is a perennial also.
So this is a tall one, and then over here you have, I guess this is not as, it's more spread out.
Yes, this was an antique bowl I just found. This one does not have drainage in it, so I use what is called terracotta pearls, or you can use stone or gravel or whatever you can find to just lift it up a little bit before you put your potting soil in, so it doesn't keep it, it'll let it drain out a little bit and keep it dry. Cyclamen, which can it's a cool crop, so that's perfectly fine. More violas, hen and chick, which is a perennial, and another columbine.
So do you have to have things that need the same amount of water to do these?
I individually water.
You individually water, okay. So if this needs more water than this, you just concentrate it more on this side? I see,
Exactly.
I see. And then this almost looks like a tree.
This is a hellebore, and we have beautiful hellebores like this in the Folly Garden at the Botanic Garden. And this is called candy tuft, which is all starting to come out at this time of year.
Starting to see that.
And then I tuck a little bit of moss in to keep it moist.
But I mean, this is just a very small fraction of what you can see in the Delaware Botanic Gardens.
Oh my goodness. I didn't do, the only bulb I did was the hyacinth bulb, but 200,000 bulbs
That's amazing.
are planted throughout the entire Botanic Garden, which is
incredible.
I'm drawing you to the garden. I'm just giving you a little tease.
Little
with
tease.
this.
Well, I do see you have some daffodils over
Yes,
there that you
yes.
brought for me. Thank you so much. And those are popping up.
Yes, and that's my tip of the day. I brought the daffodils because a lot of flower arrangements this time of year will come with tulips and other flowers with the daffodils. When you cut a daffodil, it has a sap inside, and it's actually quite toxic to other flowers. It makes them break down quicker than usual. So if you're going to use daffodils in an arrangement with other flowers, what I do is I'll let it sit in water by itself and then drain it out, add fresh water, and then add my tulips.
Okay. I did not know that. Well, everything is beautiful. Jan, thank you so much
You
for
are so
coming in
welcome.
and sharing this, getting us all ready for spring in one
Yes.
week. Jan Poley with the Delaware Botanic Gardens. Thank you.